And welcome everyone to our virtual co-working and write-in and events. I'm Coral Sands, author and one-year quest guides for today's writing event.
And I'm Ansley Ashe. I'm also an author and co-quest guide for today.
To keep myself accountable, I love virtual write-ins. We get to meet so many different writers from around the world. And today we'll be doing sprints with prompts followed by short breaks.
During our short breaks, we chat with each other a bit so you can get to know us a little bit better.
We are live on YouTube, but feel free to watch the VOD afterwards so you can pause if you need more time with the prompts. And while you're on YouTube, please click subscribe so you don't miss us going live.
And don't forget to share. We appreciate all of the support you've shown us so far. You've been amazing. Before we get much further, let's discuss our upcoming events. Coral?
All right, today we have the amazing Sam McAdams, which we will introduce in a little bit. On the 21st, we will have Melanie Johnson. On the 24th, we'll have Nikki Green. And on the 28th, we'll have Jenny Johnson. And then we'll have our Thank Goodness It's Over party on December 1st, which we're very, very excited about. I will post all of our upcoming events in our Facebook group called Writing Quests, as well as on our Substack if you want to have them emailed directly to you to remind you of when our events are. I'll leave a link in the description. So, Ansley, what are we doing today?
It's November. That means Novel Quest. Novel Quest is a free annual motivational challenge where writers complete a novel writing or editing goal, for example, 50,000 words in 30 days. There are regional, in-person, virtual, and hybrid events, as well as virtual badges to help participants stay motivated while having fun in the process of achieving their goals. To help, Writing Quest also supplies a Google Tracker sheet where writers can track their individual goals, and those who've opted in can see how others are doing and cheer them on. The link to the tracker is in the description below. One of these days I'm going to get that right.
Yeah. Since it is November 17th, we're excited for you to meet our special guest author, Sam McAdams. Hi, Sam.
Hello.
Hi, Sam. Thanks for joining us today. Today we're going to interview Sam with some quick fire questions, and then afterwards we will play a game. Then we will have our sprints with prompts followed by a break where we get to know Sam a little bit better. And as always, if you're watching live, leave a question if you have one for Sam or think of one, and Coral will read them and she will signal to me that we have a question, and we'll go get Sam to answer your question. So thanks so much for your participation. All right, so Sam, let's just get things started. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've still working full time. I've been in telecom. I'm one of these dinosaurs that I got my job out of college, and then 35 years later, I'm still technically at the same place. The company's changed names multiple times, being sold, bought out, whatever, merged, spun off, or whatever it is. And I'll be coming up on we'll have our 30th wedding anniversary coming up in March. I got 2 adult children. One of them is still living with us. And I spend most of my free time writing. And I've been
that's great.
I was an ML for, well, this would have been my 10th year if we still did that other November writing challenge and not Novel Quest.
So it's been great meeting you and getting to know you. So outside of writing, do you have any pets or hobbies?
We have a cat. Well, technically we have 2 cats right now. One's our son's that's living with us. We're still, after a year plus, we're trying to get them to get along. They're a little bit better. The hissing is still there, but they don't actually attack each other much anymore. So that's good. As far as hobbies, other hobbies, I like to cook. Usually like to try some unusual things, like cooking tater tots and waffles, or I tried grilling watermelon one time. That was supposed to be, it was advertised as, oh, you grill it, it's going to do wonderful things to it. Now, the tater tots in the waffle iron, it does do fantastic things to them because it makes it crispy. It's just fantastic, quick way to cook them. Grilling watermelon, no, it just takes all the water out of it and makes it dry and just awful. So I don't know, that wouldn't. So they don't always work out well.
Yeah, a little bit of salt on your watermelon, kind of like just a touch of salt though, will really like bring out the wow flavor in that.
All right. Grilling it still, I think, ruins all of that. You know, that's what I'm thinking. But I don't know. We'll see.
There are people who are definitely not down with that. But I grew up in the South, and this is like just a tiny little sprinkling of salt over there, just kind of like brings out the flavor. Works really good if you have it with like feta cheese, like watermelon and feta cheese, and a little bit of salt.
That's what I made it into a slider with feta cheese, and at least that saved it a little bit. Yeah, the feta cheese helped.
Yeah. Feta cheese is amazing stuff, but. Okay, yep. Sam and I could totally get sidetracked on the cooking thing, and this is not a cooking show. Okay, so what type of writing do you do?
So I started calling it absurdist writing, but technically I'm not the pure absurdist writer, which would be like the traditional absurdist would just write about a character trying to find the meaning of life. There isn't really any life that they can never find, so it's just this pointless search for the meaning of life, and they never find it. Which Douglas Adams, clearly Arthur Dent is that kind of a character for the meaning of life and never really finds it. So he would be the pure one. Mine's just silliness and absurdity. So, but that's what people kept calling it. Whenever I would get reviews, they would say, "Hey, this is really absurd." I think even ChatGPT, in reviewing one of my sections, talked about the absurdity of it. So I just went with it. So I call myself now the 21st century absurdist is what I call myself. And that's my actual Facebook handle on it.
Okay. So that pretty much covers the genre. So tell us about your current project, which I know a little bit about. And I'm so excited for you to hear about it, but go ahead and tell us all about your current project.
It's an ongoing project. So I do have one book in the series published, and we can stick it up there if people can see it. It's always difficult to get it in there. And so it's a Barnyard Heroes and I've been working on these forever. Started this first one like over 20 years ago and got that published last year. Now working on the second one. It's a group of barnyard animals that get superpowers from a space alien. He's given them, ability to talk, all those kind of things, but also some superpowers. But the company that this space alien works for falls on hard times. They cancel his project before he's really done with them. So not all of their powers are working properly. And there'll be eventually 7 books. I've got drafts of 7 books in the series. I'm working on the second one right now, which is the Havarti Travel Bureau Conspiracy, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Cow Zombie Apocalypse. So,
nice.
Working on edits for that. Endless edits.
I know. I hear him talk about this all the time. That's why I was so excited to have him on. If you are looking for just something that is just fun and that absurdist quality and just a touch of sci-fi in there, he is your writer. Like, he is a fantastic. So yeah, I love this project. Okay, so you talked a little bit about being an ML before, and so obviously you've done a writing challenge such as this before. What advice do you have for someone who is participating in a quest such as Novel Quest?
So there's lots of advice that we've got a whole video on that. I think a few of these, as we do talks every year beforehand to try and help people out. Actually, attending write-ins like this, or what will eventually, now we're doing an interview, which doesn't get you writing too much at this point, but later on when we do the challenges and that, just participating in that and joining up with the local group, we've heard it time and time again that there would be people that would try the challenge. They tried Nano year over year. They would do it on their own. They would be at home and they would just lose interest halfway through. And until they came and really joined our group and started participating in all the events, they had never succeeded. And that was the thing that got them over the edge. So that's one of the best things to do, and just keep at it. I mean, it's there's a lot of different, you're going to need to take a few breaks. It's a marathon of a month. It's a long, grueling ordeal to get through it. So you got to take care of yourself, get some sleep if you can. Now we're already halfway through the month here, so it's probably a little bit harder. But I like to take some time off too, just so that I can, even not so much that I'm writing during those times off, but just so I can recuperate or spend a little time with the family or get other things done, grocery shopping, cook a meal or something like that.
All kinds of fun stuff. Okay. Do you consider yourself a planner, plotter, pantser, something in between? What kind of writing do you tend to fall into?
So the drafts have typically been mostly pantsed. I mean, I'll have a loose outline. And I do basically follow that, so I kind of know where the story's going for the most part, but I really like the discovery of the first novel and taking that to, there's multiple famous authors that talk about the first draft just being, one, is going to be lousy, and two, it's just you kind of discovering discovering how the characters are going to act and all of that. And then it's afterwards where I really do the planning. So I get the first draft kind of is pantsed, and then I do a lot of planning afterwards and character sketch, redo the character sketches, really figure out the arcs, really make sure every scene has a purpose and a goal and what every character's motivations are in there. So I do a lot of planning before I do the second draft.
Yeah, a lot of writing is rewriting, but Novel Quest is about getting that first draft out there. And the thing I kind of like to say, just say like every week, is like, this is the place and this is the time to take your risks, right? Like to take the risk creatively, take it in this draft. Nobody else ever has to see it. You kind of, and there's a magic. I think Sam, you agree with me. There's like a magic in that discovery in that first draft where like, you just kind of like, oh, all of a sudden that makes sense. And maybe you do have to go rewrite it later, but that first one. Yeah. I think the first one's kind of magical. I agree.
And I've had a lot of them where like all of a sudden I'm going along and then something sparks and then you realize, well, this is a whole different way I didn't expect this story to go. And now you realize, well, okay, too late now. In November, I'm not going to try and change everything back, but you realize you have to make some significant changes that really make that more of a focal point of what the novel's all about.
Yeah. Tag it and go on, right? Okay.
Right.
So what is your favorite place to write?
Well, I don't like to get stuck in the same place all the time. If I don't know how much you guys have been following all of our journey. I know you guys have joined our year-round writing group, the Writing Journey, and I host a Thursday night, Shut Your Trap and Write. And if you notice, I'm bouncing around for all different places. I like to get out of the house. I like to be somewhere out in public, whether it be a cafe or a bar. Or one of the places I really like, and nobody else will ever join me there, is the Yorktown Mall cafe area, their food court, because they've got great Wi-Fi there. There's power outlets right in there. All the food options you want. I mean, it's fantastic.
If it weren't an hour away from home. Yeah, if it weren't an hour away from home, I would be with you. Like, I would be like there. I'd be like, yeah, like it's an hour. It's an hour there and an hour back, and then like for 2 hours of writing. It's a little much. I'm sorry, but one day, you know what? One day I'll be feeling adventurous, and we'll do it. Like we'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your favorite snack while writing? Since you like to, or do you snack afterwards? I snack afterwards. But I do need to have a snack after I write. Do you snack during?
Sometimes, not a whole lot. When I am out somewhere, so usually I get, really I'm getting a meal, and I do that kind of beforehand and try and eat it even before I start the whole Shut Your Trap and Write session.
Okay, so do you eat before? Yeah, so I was going to ask, is this like a brain, like, is this so like, obviously that's a patron thing, right? Like, because you're going to show up at a cafe, we want to be polite, we want to be kind, we want to be respectful
Right.
of these cafe owners. They need to make their money too. They're not just providing a free space for us to write in. We want to be polite to them.
Right.
But, do you find that you need to eat before you write or after? Because like I need to write first and eat later because afterwards I'm hungry and my brain is like it needs that recharge that up. But what about you? Do you eat first or how does your brain work? Like, I'm curious. I'm so fascinated.
Yeah, I never really thought about it, but yeah, typically I'm eating before I dive into a writing session.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't write when I'm hungry.
Right. I think if I let it go and then got hungry, I'd get frustrated and it wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so caught up in my writing that like I don't notice whether I'm hungry or thirsty or whatever else it is. Like my brain is there, and then like the second I step away, I am all of a sudden like massively hungry, massively thirsty, massively all of this stuff that like I've just been in this zone
I can see that.
before, and like my brain needs it, and like it needs like salty or it needs sweet. So like it's either chocolate or popcorn, one of the two.
Oh, but not the combination. You don't need that salt and the sweet and salty together. That's not the thing.
No. Yeah, like chocolate covered. I've done chocolate covered pretzels before, but they just don't hit. They taste after I like chocolate covered pretzels. So don't at me. I love chocolate covered pretzels. Like if they're your jam, like I get that, right. But after I write, they don't taste the same, and it's just strange for me. But like yeah, like the process of writing changes the way food tastes for me. I don't know how to describe it. Okay.
So, you gotta do a study on that.
I know, right? Yeah. If you're interested, leave a comment down below. We'll contact you. We'll join that. Okay. So you talked a little bit about how you published the first one. Is that indie published or traditionally published?
It's self-published. So,
okay.
I had shopped it around quite a bit. And even years and years ago, I even had an interest with an agent, and it just never materialized.
And at some point, I think this is one of those.
Just went with
your audience is out there.
Myself. Yeah.
Yeah, your audience is out there. Like this is a book everybody needs to read. This is something that the world does not know that it needs, but it does. I promise you. Okay, so I just find the fact that they get superpowers from a space alien, but then he gets a budget cut, so like they don't get to complete the job. I think that is immensely funny. That is just like a great complication and just hilarious as a setup. I was like, oh, everything could go wrong. It's amazing. So I can't wait to get to the next book. Okay, how long have you been writing, or how old were you when you first started writing?
Really, my whole life. I mean, I still can remember the first story I ever wrote in like third grade, and had the classroom laughing, and I was hooked at that point. So, really writing, yeah, pretty much my whole life. But when this was early 2000s is when I really kind of got back into it. I mean, eventually life kind of gets in the way, if you will. Yeah. You know?
Okay.
Which is good.
What has been your biggest? No, it's not. It's not get in the way. It is giving you experiences to draw on for your creative journey.
Right. Yes, you have to live the full catastrophe of life.
Mantra.
Yes.
Right. It's a mantra, right? Which, as everybody knows, a mantra is a lie you tell yourself in the hopes that one day it becomes true. Okay. What has been your biggest struggle as a writer, and how did you overcome it?
I think it was thinking writing was just something you did all on your own. I just thought it was a solitary thing. I didn't think you needed help or you needed a community of writers. So it really wasn't until I found Nano, and then even for the first few years of doing Nano, I did it on my own. You know, I'd come maybe to the party at the end, but I didn't really even go to a lot of the write-ins or participate in too many events outside of that. So once I really started getting involved with the writing group, and you just learn so much more. There was so much more I had to learn. I thought I just could just write. I didn't need any help. I know what I'm doing. I know what's funny. I'll just write this. This will be good. But yeah, learning the whole craft of it beyond just what's the next funny scene, actually building a story out, developing yours a little bit more. And God forbid I give them a character arc or something like that. I wasn't doing any of that for a while, and now starting to figure out all of those kind of pieces. So.
I do think community, especially like when you run into trouble with your writing, it's really nice to have people who understand like the kind of creative struggle that you're in. So like the community can be really important. It does really help me stay motivated. And it's been one of the great things about having writers so willing to come in and be open and talk about their process and answer all these nosy questions that I ask them.
Right. And just the whole self-publishing process without, Jen and Jenny going through it and giving hints and having workshops on it.
Jenny's going to be here. Yeah, Jenny's going to be here. Jenny is here on Thanksgiving. So,
On Thanksgiving.
Yeah. We're going to give thanks for all the words that we wrote. Every word matters. Okay, next question then. So you talked a little bit about life getting in the way. How do you currently balance life, work, with the holiday season, if you're in North America coming upon us, especially with Thanksgiving and stuff? How do you find a way to balance that?
So one of the things, I've already kind of talked about it. I do take a lot of time off in November because I know I'm going to be doing extra writing. And then that just helps me to be able to free up a little bit of time to do more than just writing. You can do this challenge, writing full-time, not taking any days off. I've done it if you're doing the traditional 50,000 words, but that is grueling. And in many of the years when I did do that, I didn't have any time to spend with family. And yeah, Thanksgiving was about it. It's like, okay, one day, that's it, back to writing again. So that definitely helps. Just keeping a schedule. I mean, marking, this is one of the things we always stress at the beginning. It helps at the beginning of the month to really look at your calendar, know what days are going to be tough. Maybe it's not even Thanksgiving that comes up. Maybe there's other things. Like last weekend, I had a funeral to go to, and we had tickets to go to see a play too. So I knew the Saturday and Sunday of last week was going to be tough for me to get any writing done. But I still managed to get an hour in the morning ahead of time. So that day's going to be tough. It's like, all right, well, I can still do an hour before we go to this. And just stick to those kind of things and get that every little bit of time you have. It helps with the word count, helps with your distracting time. It helps with that any way you're doing it.
And would you say that one of the things about November is that because the goal is so big, you really kind of have to set a routine, some sort of a routine, and say I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write, and even if it's only 30 minutes, I just have to sit down and write. And it kind of keeps you in touch with your writing, I think, and keeps you in touch with the story. I think that's the thing, that's a lot of what I hear you saying.
That's a lot of it. And yeah, just keeping up with it. If I start to fall behind, I get real nervous. And I think that's what happens with a lot of people. Once you fall behind, it's hard to catch up. So I like to, I go crazy on the first day. I do the midnight write-in and wake up and do some more writing.
I love that so much.
So I can
this year I was all out of sorts. I was so excited. Yeah, I did midnight writes at my other region. And so this year I joined, but I had been waking up, because I'd been at my parents' farm. So those days start at 6 a.m. So midnight is late when your day starts at 6 a.m. Mm-hmm. But I was so excited. I was like, oh, maybe next year I won't have to be at the farm. So and you writed, listen to me, can't talk. You guys were writing until 7 a.m. Gertrude had a 4 to 7 a.m. Yeah. So join us.
Yeah, we had a second
comments
down
below.
Yep.
I know. Join us. So much fun. Okay. Is there a craft book on writing or a craft resource that you would recommend to our writers?
I never really read that many books on it. And I know we've gotten recommendations, and there's been workshops done on like what's the Save the Cat. I know is a good one. Stephen King's, I always heard his was fantastic. It's more just getting little quotes here and there. A lot of I will promote our writing journey a lot through this. I mean, we do workshops, 2 of them every month when we're having our regular meetings throughout the year, and those you learn a lot from those. And I've gone to a few conferences writing. Yeah, I've gone to a few writing conferences, and ours are rival any of the ones I've seen there. People do a really good job with in our group giving those workshops. You learn a lot from them.
All right. Do you follow anyone interesting on social media? And do you have social media of your own that you would like to promote?
I am on. I do have my 21st Century Absurdist is on Facebook, and my own Samuel McAdams, and I have, but I not very good at posting a whole lot of stuff. I put a few things out there here and there. Right now, my focus has really been more on getting a couple more of the books done, published. I really want to have 3 or 4 of them out there before I really start spending the time. For me, it just takes a lot of time. I don't know. Other people, I can see them posting stuff all the time, and I'm just like, how do you have the time to post so much stuff? I can't do that.
They cheat.
But as far as they're like, oh, well, we schedule them. I'm like, yeah, but you still have to write it. Even if you're scheduling it, you still have to write it. And maybe it's because anything I write.
They write it. They write it for one and then post it across all their profiles. So
that's true. Yeah. And even when I do a little bit of that, I feel like you always have to tweak it a little bit for each one of them. And maybe that's, just always seems to take me a lot of time. But yeah, as far as following people, I don't have a whole lot of like real interesting, other than, like Otter News or things like that, if you're not following him.
Otter News is great though.
Yeah.
But Otter News is great. You should follow them. Okay. Like seriously, audience, you should follow them. They're great. They're fantastic. Okay. Do you have any advice for a first-time writer?
A first-time writer. And particularly like trying this novel quest, just have fun with it.
I mean, any advice? Yeah.
Just have fun with it. Just keep going. Just enjoy. Don't worry too much, especially in the first draft. Just, don't be going back and really over criticizing yourself or thinking that it's all crap. That the first draft is crap. I mean, listen to all the famous authors; they'll tell you the same thing. So don't sweat it. Just keep going. Yeah, embrace it. Yeah. That's what editing's for. Editing's the scarier part. I've noticed from a lot of people. It's getting into the editing. It's the scary. Scarier.
Yeah. For me, like learning how to edit, like I got to the end of my very first novel. It took me 10 years, like 10 legitimate years. Like I tried a novel and like failed, and tried to write a novel and I failed, and I like read all these books and I read all these different methods, and I tried one and I tried one and I tried one and I tried one and I tried one, and it didn't work. Of course, like I'm struggling alone, right? Not having a community. So I think a community probably would have helped me then. And then I got to the end of it and I was like, okay, cool. I was like, now what do I do? And so like that book has never been revised. I don't even know what to do to revise it. I like, even with all the stuff that I've learned, I don't know what it is that needs to be revised in that one. So yeah, I mean, I think editing is kind of scary. I would agree. Okay. So do you ever have writer's block, and how do you handle it?
I'm a big fan of naps. And just any kind of right, well, any kind of a break helps, and it's varying levels of it, right? So just going and even just doing a little bit of cooking that kind of gets my mind off of it, and then you're doing something else, and then things start popping into your head. But going for a walk takes it even to another level. Just kind of letting that, Yep. And but then
you need to test the cooking.
Take it to the
we need to test snacking and cooking. Are these also scientifically proven? We need a PhD to we need this to be their thing, right? Somebody who's studying creativity for a living.
I think it would, but
why do the best?
But naps
why
are
do
the
the best? Why do the best? Yeah, naps are fantastic. Naps and walking are two seriously scientifically proven ways, because of the way that the brain rests and reset. They're two seriously scientifically proven ways to increase your creativity. I would like a scientist to explain to me why the ideas always come in the shower, though.
I think it's the same sort of thing, though. It's a relaxing point. The heat, just everything, and then you get to that point where there's different connections being made because your mind's kind of more relaxed, and that's where the 20-minute power nap. It's the Einstein, Salvador Dali, just countless famous people would do these all the time.
It was good enough for them. It's good enough for you. Yeah,
he falls asleep with a pencil, or he would have something in his hand and a plate underneath it, and then when he hit the point of just dozing off, they would drop the pencil. That would wake him up, and that's where the inspiration would come. He would remember where he was at that point, and that's where a lot of the big ideas came from. And I made the whole writing group do this one time in one of our meetings. That was my workshop. I made everybody take a nap.
Nice.
So, this is what makes him amazing. This is why we had to have him on. Okay. All right. That is that's the end of our questions for today. So it's on to the writing game.
I'm actually really excited to introduce one of my favorite games. When I was little, my mom used to give me random words, and I would have to create a poem from them. It's called a found poem. Now, I do this exercise with my writing group, and it's challenging and fun. How does it work, Ansley?
Okay, so it works like this. We have randomly picked 6 words, and Sam came up with 6 extremely random words. And everyone must try to include as many of these words into a scene as they can. Then afterwards, we will share how many we got, and if we have time, share our writing beat. But everything we are writing will be on the screen so you can see our process as we write.
And everyone can join us for this game. Let's see how many words we can get. You'll have 5 minutes for this game. Is everyone ready? Okay, let's begin. And with that ding means it is time for a 5-minute break. How did everybody do? How many words did you get? Did you get them all?
I got them all, but but I feel like my scene is lame. My scene is lame. But
I mean, fair.
In true Sam McAdams fashion, we're trying to stuff a corpse into a mailbox, and my character is complaining about how the mailbox is supposed to be big enough for this, and it's not. Yeah, so it is a.
How about you, Sam? How many did you get?
I couldn't work corpse in there. I was still working on that, but yeah.
Yeah, that was
I embraced the guillotine. They were using a guillotine to slice bacon and that, and the chef, and then cooking their lasagna in the mailbox, because that's really where the whole mailbox lasagna comes from, is to cook it there. Why not use a toaster oven? But I didn't quite get the corpse. I had some ideas, but it just seemed too gross. I don't know.
Yeah. So it's creative honors in the chat, and they said that was macabre. It was. I was literally trying to get a guillotine as the last seconds were coming in. I'm like, how do I do this?
Sam used a random word generator to choose our words for us. So, so of course it's macabre, and of course it's absurd and hilarious. So those are some of the best. I just love it when everything goes off the rails. This is what November is all about. So this has been the most fun yet, as hard and as difficult and as much creative stretch as I have needed. That was amazing. Thank you. Just hilarious.
Why I love this exercise. It is just, you have to stretch yourself so much, and it's a lot of fun, and you're not going to get it every time, but just trying to do it is so much fun. And it's always so interesting to see how different everybody's writing was. Sam was talking about a mailbox lasagna, and I was thinking, I was just thinking of regular lasagna, and of my character was thinking back about how her mom wasn't there, just outside checking the mailbox and all of this stuff, thinking about the past and all of that jazz. And so two different, completely different stories from that. It's so interesting. And then Ansley trying to shove a corpse into a mailbox.
The guillotine probably helped with that, I suppose.
What she's complaining about is she's got this freshly guillotined, corpse, and she's like, if I can't get it in the mailbox, my guillotine's gonna rust because it's gonna have dried blood on there, and how am I gonna clean this up? And I mean, she's got problems, she's got problems.
That will do it.
So that's hilarious. All right, everybody, don't forget to hydrate. You need to water to keep your brain going. And we will start talking about our next prompt, because we have about a minute left before then.
Yes.
So,
okay.
You're totally permitted, if it's too macabre for you, to ditch the corpse and ditch the guillotine. But you don't have to, because our next prompt is, but keep the food. Keep the toaster, keep the lasagna, keep the bacon.
The bacon, definitely.
Yeah. Add something spicy to your next scene. That can be food related, but it doesn't have to be. But it will be food related for us, because this is a PG show. So
yes, absolutely. But yeah, so I'm thinking, what is spicy that my character can eat? In the last scene, they heard a sound that sounded like a guillotine. So we are set up for maybe somebody cooking in the kitchen, I'm thinking. So maybe they are cooking up something spicy. So we'll have to find out.
I don't know. I think I need somebody to make me that guillotine that slices bacon from Sam.
That there you go. Fun. There you go. Yes. All right. A few more seconds. Everybody take a deep breath. Let's do this. that means it is time for our break. All right. How many words did y'all get? What did you do? I want to hear it all.
373 words.
Nice.
My characters are eating Takis. They're in a hospital, so they got Takis out of the vending machine.
Nice. Those are spicy. Absolutely. How about you, Sam? How did you do?
Word count was short, only 90, but I'm in the middle of editing, and there's a scene where they're debating which type of energy drink is the best. So then I had somebody talking about a spicy, like a habanero Red Bull. That's what they prefer, and they think the spice is what gives you that extra energy and that extra kick.
It's not about the quantity. It's not about the quantity of the words, right? It's about, like, when you're editing, it's about the quality of the words and the quality of the ideas, and that is a very interesting idea.
Absolutely. I got 293 for myself, and in the scene I had a group find some fresh veggies out of a community garden that was overgrown, and this is the first real food that they're eating in a long time, so the survivors are all getting a chance to have a nice little stew, including no, I didn't include radishes. The first thing I thought of was jalapeno peppers, and but I included a very funny scene where the warrior, who had no idea what it was, decided to try it because he thought it was a fruit, and was very shocked to find out how spicy it was.
That is I might have gone with something maybe I feel like radishes are one of these sneaky little vegetables. If you don't really understand them and you don't know how spicy they are, they look so much like a beet, right? So if you're expecting something sweet like a beet, and you get the radish, and you're like, boom, you're like, ooh. I feel like
that'll funny, knock you out.
Yep.
Yeah, the pepper is amazing. The big strong guy, that's the same idea, right? That's the same idea. It's it's supposed to be sweet, and then boom, that is amazing.
Boom. Yes.
I'm gonna have to beta read this thing, Coral, just to see all of the things all of these prompts and how you incorporated them. I'm gonna have to see what sticks. I'm gonna have to be one of your beta readers. I think I just have to.
I would love that. Someone from the chat, Susan Eakins, says 160 words. I'm doing a journaling. Got a text in the middle of writing, so I got distracted. No worries. 160 really good words. We love to see it.
While being distracted. Yes. Impressive.
While being distracted is very good. For sure.
And words are words. We're here to celebrate every single one of them because they mean that you've been true to your own creative spirit. So we love that you've gotten words. So that's great. That's great. Okay.
And
so
we
next
have
prompt.
A little bit. Steve, we're on the same wavelength.
Yes.
All right.
So this one was set up by Coral's bunny. Real life Coral has bunnies. So go ahead.
So we all of a sudden had a bunny do zoomies in the background, and so then we were like, no bunny, no, and so this is our prompt: no bunny, no. A bunny randomly wanders through your scene. Have fun with it. It doesn't have to be a real bunny, but I'm hoping that everybody gets a real bunny that randomly wanders through the scene, because I think
bunnies
that would be
amazing.
Hilarious.
Bunnies are excellent agents of chaos. There's a reason why Bugs was such a great character. And bunnies, if you've never had a bunny as a pet, they are just agents of glorious chaos and so easy to love.
Oh, so easy. So everybody, please don't forget to click save right now. I don't want you to lose your hard work. And let's go ahead and everybody take a breath and dive into our next prompt. Let's go. That means it is time for our break. Gotta get the last sentence out though first. Everybody write in the comments how many words you got.
How did you do, Coral?
All right, let's see. I got 267 words, which I'm very happy with.
I got 407.
Oh,
I got 407, but I'm at a part.
Impressive.
Yeah, but I'm at a part. Yeah, well, one, the story is writing itself, and two, I'm at a part where like the juicy stuff is happening. It's like I've had a character get stabbed. I've got a character who's like meeting him. She's lost her bicycle. Like there's stuff that happens, and but the bunnies escaped from a farm and they're causing a roadblock on a highway, and Allison has to go cover that for the website. So like, yeah, Agent of Chaos. So they did wander through there.
I love it.
They're glorious.
All right. All right, Sam, how did you do?
Well, I cheated because I just stuck to strictly editing because one of the Barnyard Heroes is a rabbit. So I didn't really have to make anything up. I just have to keep editing. So that's what I went with.
That's not cheating. That is called serendipity.
Yes, and one of the wonderful things about writing Quest is that you can choose to write or edit or do both, and we love that flexibility, so that's really great. Also in the chat, Susan got 236 words. Yay. Great job.
Happy. These are great. Like, I'm so excited when they put their words in the chat. I'm just like, I'm so excited to see it. And I'm so excited for you, for the writers out there. Like, it makes me feel good to know that we're out here helping people, being a community with them. I love that. That community is so important to me. I know it's important to Sam. I know it's important to Coral. So like, we're so happy to like be able to join you. Like, to do this together, it's an adventure. That's why it's called a quest, because it's an adventure.
Yes.
Okay.
Great. Shall we talk a little bit about our next prompt?
Yes. So Ansley has been in the middle of like somebody got stabbed, so somebody did already get injured. So we're gonna have to think of like, is there a complication? Is somebody else gonna have to maybe get a smaller boo-boo? Because the stab is a pretty big thing, but like I feel like you find somebody who got stabbed and like you stub your toe or something, or like you walk into a wall and you get a bruise. I feel like these are the things that happen when like there's an emergency and like all of your brain is going in one direction. It's like, maybe I'll have to do something like that.
Yes, I love that idea so much. So our thought process was where you guys might be in your writing. It might just need someone to get injured because that way you are raising the stakes. And so it is an excellent opportunity to see how your characters are going to react. Are they going to want to help? Are they... or maybe it's something that's like, oh no, good, you're injured. That's what we want, because maybe it's an antagonist that gets hurt, or you can do it so many different ways.
At this point in the story, the stakes are rising for both your antagonist and your protagonist. So this is a great way to add a complication if you don't know what to do, especially when you're like, I don't know. So like, we just try to think of a prompt that would help you guys out a little bit in your story building, maybe something you hadn't thought of. These are things that I use, Coral uses, I'm sure Sam uses all the time. When you get in that, we're still in that mushy middle, and it's just time to raise the stakes and do something unexpected.
Absolutely. Someone getting injured is a great way to raise those stakes, and especially for the main characters, and to see how they're going to react to it. And so
it's a complication they'll have to work around in their climax too, maybe. So yeah, all right.
Yes.
Get a big sip of water or whatever beverage you are drinking. Keep those brains hydrated.
Yay.
All right. Settle in.
Deep breaths. And let's do this writing thing. All right, that ding means it is time for a break. Everybody, let us know how many words did you get. Put it into the chat so we can see how you did.
Okay, I got 386. How did you do, Sam?
Again, editing, which it all fits right into these prompts, though, because I'm in a big, heavy battle scene where lots of characters are getting injured at this point. So didn't really have to come up with anything new. More cheating. It's working out great.
It's not cheating.
I love
it's
it.
Serendipity. There's no such thing as cheating. It's serendipity. Cheating is for like things you do like on tasks and stuff. Like no. Like where there are stakes. This isn't cheating. It's serendipity.
Absolutely.
How about you,
I got 300. I got 304 words. I'm very happy with that. I had a person who is injured in it, but also during it, my character was emotionally injured by the words that one of the other characters said. And so I was able to include both of them, and which I'm very happy about.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Nice,
I never even thought of that.
Yeah.
Never even thought of that. That's brilliant. Yeah, I should have put that in there. Well, my reporter got injured chasing the bunny story, small twisted ankle, but no bunnies were harmed in the making of this story. They've all been safely corralled. They made it off the highway, so like, yay, bunnies. So, yeah, I got the story, got a great shot of the bunnies, just a small twisted ankle in the middle of all of that running after the bunnies. Falling down.
Absolutely.
Definitely something that
Absolutely.
never happened to me chasing my bunny when I was a child. Ever. Not once did it happen.
Yeah, that's funny because my sister was telling me about when she first got her puppy. He would just all of a sudden take off and go running, and she'd have the leash on, and she would trip over the leash and fall and get an injury. And the puppy's just like, what?
He's like, I don't understand. Yeah, I feel like my bunny did that too a lot. It's like looking at me like, why did you fall? What is wrong with you? We're just having fun here. Just hopping. Like if you hopped, this wouldn't happen to you. You're running. That's the problem.
Yeah, you have to do it on 2 feet. What's your problem? You're on all fours. You'll fall over. Yeah.
I know, right? So.
I love it.
Okay.
All right.
So,
we have 2 minutes. So let's take a gander at what our next prompt is, shall we?
okay. Someone has lost their way. So again, we've been trying to think of prompts that just give you options for complications, upside down and inside out. Be interesting. How is somebody going to get lost? Like, because it's set in such a small town where like everybody knows everybody. Who's going to get lost in a small town? I don't even know how to do that.
Maybe it's not actually getting lost physically, but maybe it's getting lost where they are mentally, and maybe that they've kind of lost their way and are having trouble figuring out how to get themselves back on track.
And that definition of lost, maybe, right?
Yes, absolutely. We can take these prompts and make them whatever we need them to be in order to fit into our stories. So
it's also okay if they don't fit. Yeah, it's also okay if they don't fit. But yeah, if you can stretch yourself. But if it doesn't fit, do what works for you. It's like this is about honoring ourselves and our creative journey, not about like fitting somebody else's idea of like what should happen. So the prompts are
absolutely.
Just for fun.
The prompts are to help you in case you don't know what you need to write. If you already know what you want to write, then keep on writing. Do what you're doing. And then, if you get stuck, use a prompt and see where it leads you.
Okay.
All right,
We'll
we have
see
a
you
few
back here in
seconds, so
10
everybody
minutes.
take a deep breath. Yep, take a deep breath. All right, time to do this writing thing. That means that it's time for a break. I want everybody to count up your words, put it into the chat so we can see exactly how many words you got.
Okay, I got 373. I seem to be like pretty consistent in between that, like 350 and 400. You know, during these 10-minute writing sessions.
Yeah, very
good.
consistency is key.
What about you, Cor? How did you do?
387. I am floored by how many words. This apparently was a very good prompt for me. How about you, Sam? How did you do?
There. Yeah, how did you do?
Yeah, they just...
Good job. Good job.
Go ahead, Sam. Tell us all your secrets.
All my say, I'm editing, so.
He's taking words away.
Yeah.
Like he's not adding words.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
taking words out.
no. I am. When I edit, I end up adding more words because usually I'm very heavy dialogue in the opening, for the first drafts of things, and it's layering extra things in there. Characters.
Yeah, I tend to do a lot of. Oh, sorry. I was going to say that I have a lot of dialogue heavy. So then when I'm going in again, I'm adding more details and things so that I'm not just having two characters in a void talking to each other.
Right.
Which is what that feels like sometimes. Which is why we've had so many prompts. You know, I think earlier where we talked about we talk about food, we talk about like these other details. It's to remind ourselves to put these things in there because like that first draft through. So yeah, and I don't take words out, but even on a polish, it's so interesting. Like, so even on a polishing draft, when I'm like, tightening up the prose and making it sing and making it, I still end up adding words. I don't know about you guys, but like, even when I'm supposed to be taking it out, I'm like, oh yeah, but I add words. Every draft gets longer. I don't know why.
Yep, yeah. That's how it's going. And this was already a long novel to begin with, and it keeps getting longer.
How many words is your current draft right now?
So I got developmental feedback from an editor, and at the start of that, I was at 90K, and I'm already at 113, close to 114K. I'm on chapter 30, 33 or 36, so 115, maybe as much as 120 by the time I'm done with this.
I don't know. I don't think that's so bad though. Yeah, I don't think that's so bad though. Like, because if there were definitely details that needed to be left out, then it could. And 115,000, I think, is a normal length these days for a novel. We're not back in Agatha Christie days where it was like, oh, it needs to be between 55 and 60,000. They'd have made you break that up into two novels back in the day. But with computers and readers, I think attention spans are longer. So I think you're fine.
Yeah, I think I'm at 87,000 total right now, but like half of that is like duplicate rewritings where I hated a chapter and so I would rewrite it and I just keep going. So I'm interested to see how much of it I'm actually going to keep. But I have I think 40K of new words so far. So
that's pretty good. Nice. So I don't know what my today count is going to be. I'm going to end up somewhere over 30K in my first draft at the end of today. But I think this draft is going to end up being about 60,000 words long, somewhere between 55 and 60,000 words long. So I think that's really just where it's at. But I was at 28K last night, and I'll probably add another 2,000 today.
Yes. Awesome. All right, we have a few moments left. Taking a clue from Sam, we are having a unexpected budget cut as our prompt. And
it doesn't have to spur 7 novels.
Yeah. Let's see where this unexpected budget cut is going to lead us. All right, see you in 10 minutes. All right, that ding means it is time for a break, and I want everyone to put how many words they got into the chat. Let me know, how did you do? How many words did you get?
Okay, so only 319 that time for me.
Woohoo!
But words. I don't even know if the scene will stay, but it's an interesting thing because like Allison is strapped for money, and we know that like this is part of the character, and like but I haven't written a scene like how she makes those choices. So, but I don't know that this one will stay. I don't know that these choices will stay. It was an interesting exercise, I think. So definitely not a waste. What about you?
I love it.
How'd you do?
I got 351 words, and I actually think that this scene will definitely stay. And I kind of just went off of, I skipped the prompt, and I just went off of what I was already writing, and my main character is running away because of being hurt, and so I think that this is a much needed scene, and she tends to run away a lot, and so I think that this will be a scene where somebody is probably going to get hurt because of her decision, and that's going to affect how she moves forward in the book. So,
okay, what about you, Sam? We're so inspired by you and budget cuts. Did the budget cuts cause a complication in anything you were editing this time?
Yeah, well, no, not that.
this
that's
time.
already been done. It's already been done. Yeah.
It's already been done.
Maybe that'll
Yeah,
come
the
back
7
in later.
books.
But I did get a key scene and a comment
Nice.
from my editor revised. So it was very productive.
Yeah, that's good.
No
Yay!
budget.
So happy.
No budget
Yeah.
cuts.
So yeah, but Sam is the goat because he took a budget cut and turned it into 7 books, and I just think that's glorious. So
Absolutely.
that's one of those Monday that is definitely absurdist. Like, what is an absurd thing that happens with a budget cut and like glitches and superheroes? So I do love it. That's just amazing. Okay.
It's kind of like whenever
One-
there is like improv and stuff like that. The question is, not necessarily what happens next, but why not? Why can't it be like this thing? You never think about
Right,
that.
it's
You
the
just do it.
Right.
Mhm.
It's to figure out how to say yes to whatever the thing is in front of you, right? So, like somebody puts something wild and crazy out there and you like figure out how to say yes and like, and then if you're a competitive little actor like I was, you try to top it.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes,
It
and
didn't stop me
right?
from trying. Yeah.
Yes, and
Yes, and. Yes, and.
I love it.
Definitely. Yes, and. Okay. About 90 seconds left to our next prompt. This will be the last one for the day. So we've had a lot of unexpected and complications. So today somebody is going to get unexpected help. Where do they get help from, and how does that happen? Because you can't have just all dark things happen. You have to like lighten up that mood every once in a while.
Oh, this is perfect. And I think I know exactly where this is going to land. I think that this is an opportunity for the main character to get help from someone that she thinks is kind of an enemy, and only for her to find out that this person is not an enemy, but is someone who is from behind kind of supporting her without her realizing it. So this is going to be a really good prompt for me.
Yay! I love when that happens, when you're like, oh, I thought you didn't like me, but never mind. I think that happens in real life too. Like when unexpectedly somebody shows up to help you and you're like, oh, I didn't know you cared, and like, I think that's like kind of a sweet thing to have happen. So we'll be back
For
in that
sure.
previous scene where Justine has figured out something juicy and now she's going to get help from a place she didn't think she was going to get help from. But first, things are going to go horribly bad for her. So.
And I laugh.
All
at
right,
this.
everybody take a deep breath and then let's dive in. 10 minutes, let's go. All right, that ding means it is time. Time is up, and let us know how you did with the very last prompt. Put it into the chat. I got 289 words. Ansley, how did you do?
424, because this is a glorious part of the story, and so I knew what to write. So when we're in the scenes that I have pre-planned, the words are just there. How did you do, Sam?
Absolutely.
So this fits into the chapter on editing, because there is unexpected help. There's a big gunfight going on in O'Hare Airport.
Nice.
And the TSA actually come to help.
You can't say anything more without giving the plot away. You got to go start buying those books, because you've got to read them. Okay.
And I say the TSA came to help.
All right, in the chat we have we had Susan Eakins, who got 259 words, and Creative Otter got 412 words. Connie Jasperson said, what I did with this prompt was expand on the scene in my outline, 348 words. Phenomenal job.
Words. Yay! Okay, you have just finished a 2-hour interview writing marathon. So thank you so much for hanging out with us, Sam. Great job, everybody.
My pleasure. Lots of fun.
And before I go, we must thank our producer, David McGinnis. We could not do any of this without him. He created all the graphics, animations, music, produced this event. And don't forget to do all the things to help the algorithm. Like, comment, share, subscribe, follow. Every little bit helps. Find us on the social medias and subscribe to our Substack to get reminders sent to your mailbox.
Our next show is November 21st at 6:30 p.m. Central Time with special guest author Melanie Johnson, who is a USA Today bestseller. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye.
Bye.